Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Matt Johnson. We are back with another episode of Real Estate Uncensored. Thank you so much for joining us. We are back. It actually is Monday. There has been a weekend in between these last episodes. For some reason, I thought on Friday that was a Monday, and I asked somebody how their weekend was, and they're like, I don't know, because it hasn't happened yet, and I don't have a time machine. So that is the deal. We are back. It is Monday. We are fresh as a daisy. We just came off of recording an excellent podcast with the man Frank Klesitz, and we're going to be releasing that shortly. That's our new podcast. So if you guys aren't familiar, go to pursuingresults.com. At the top of the website, pop in your email there. We'll send you as soon as they're finished. We will send you the first 2 episodes. It is me and Greg's new podcast. It is not about real estate. It is about success and entrepreneurship. We are interviewing one successful person on one book that changed their life. And we've got some amazing interviews that are already recorded and more to come. It's been a really cool experience so far. But this podcast is for you, real estate agents. This is where you get actionable ideas, insight, and inspiration to turn your real estate career into a life of freedom. This is the flagship, the ultimate. This is our pride and joy, our baby that was once a starving, crying infant and has now made it to the I don't know, what would you call it, the toddler stage?
What are you talking about? Sorry, I looked down and there's an email and I was reading. All of a sudden, I hear goobery baby thing. I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Yeah, that's what you get for ignoring me on the podcast. I will throw you a question you weren't expecting.
What were you saying again? I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention to you.
This is our flagship podcast, which was an infant and is now a toddler.
It is now a toddler, and it is growing rapidly. Soon it's going to be able to poop on its own. It's fantastic.
It's great. We have a podcast that poops.
Not to say it's shitty.
Okay,
Okay, so, dude, yesterday, mother effer, dude, it was 104 degrees, right? I'm doing a Sunday open house. It's a brand new condo, which, by the way, we just got an over the listing offer on it with great terms and conditions. Because who rules? This dude. Yeah, no, that's just a big, huge ego bump.
Okay.
So I'm sitting there and I'm sweating my nuts off because guess what? Lucky Greg, hottest day of the year, and I'm holding an open house with no air conditioning.
Ooh,
it was
nice.
Epically horrible. I mean, I was to the point where I was sweating from every orifice of my body, and I was legitimately like, I drank 2 of these 2 big ass bottles of water. I drank 2 of them sitting there, and I never had to take a leak because I was sweating it out so fast. And I don't know what it was, man. Maybe it was the heat, maybe it was something else, but I was legitimately annoyed by every human that came through that open house. I was just literally pissed at them, like, just please fuck off and go away. I don't care, just leave. And then this dude comes in, calls today, right? We're gonna call him George. George calls up and he goes, hey, if you represent me, will you give a credit back to the buyers on their commission? And I'm like, no, I will not. Because we're already giving them a 25% referral fee because of the mother's an agent out of Southern California. And he's like,
gotcha. Yeah.
So he's saying, if you don't so you're not going to give me a credit. I'm like, nope. And I'm not budging on my commission. So either make an offer with me, make an offer with someone else, but you're not getting a commission, credit from me. And he was like literally blown away. Just like, wait, what? I'm like, look, pal, you might think you can wheel and deal, but I hold all the cards. No, you're not getting a credit for a commission. End of story. And I think that he has never heard those words before from a real estate agent's mouth. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe this just isn't the home. Like, willing him away. Like, go back under the rock you came out from under. Just go away from me.
Well, it's funny you should mention that because I have a question that might pair hand in glove with that topic. So before we get to that, while I wait for some more people to jump on live, just want to thank you for doing that. But if you're watching the replay here on YouTube, make sure to hit subscribe, get all of our future videos and episodes, and then if you want the audio version nestled here between your ears, make sure to hit subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher, depending on your device. So, so from the Lead Gen Scripts and Objections Facebook group, Lance Clifford asked, what's a good script you guys might use on a FSBO that your buyer likes, but the seller is only willing to pay 1% buyer agent commission? So this is a situation where you're working with the buyer, they find a for sale by owner house that they like, but the FSBO is only willing to pay 1% commission to you, the agent, so it's half or a third of what you normally get if they literally buy any other house. How would you handle that when you're going into a situation representing the buyer?
Well, there's a couple of different opportunities there. I mean, one, you have a fiduciary to your buyer. So, I mean, you can't, not show them the home, even though
Right.
you're going to be making less commission. So here are your two options. Either you take the 1% and you tell your clients what's going on. Say, hey guys, look, I'm taking it like a massive cut in my commission, no fault of yours. But if you could, refer me 2 or 3 people this year, that would be phenomenal, just so you can see how well of a service that I'm going to provide to you. And that's one opportunity. The second opportunity would be go to them and say, look, this guy or gal or this homeowner, this FSBO is going to be offering me only 1%. Is there an opportunity that you could maybe, if there's a few bucks that you guys wouldn't mind throwing my direction as well, just for all the time and effort that we're working together? Now, personally, for me, that sounds like a greedy whore. Like, oh, give me money. Like you're begging for shit. Dude, what I would say is look, just take it on the chin. So you get a 1% hit. How often is that really going to take place? Not that often. Your clients are going to be ecstatic because you got the house for them, and you just check it off. Be like, okay, I did a solid for my buyers. Now let's just treat them with white gloves and make sure that we get additional, referrals down the road.
I would tend to agree with that. I mean, it's if you look at it from the fiduciary standpoint, your priority, once you take them on as a client, if they really are a client, and your priority has to be to them, and not. I don't think what they're looking for. I think what he's looking for is a magic objection handler for how you go in and say, look, I have a buyer, but I'm not going to bring him to you unless you pay me 2.5% or 3% or whatever the case is. I don't know that objection handler exists.
Well, I mean, the other way of doing this is flipping it on its head, saying, okay, Matt, Julie, and your 3 obese babies, I understand that you're a stingy bastard and you only want to pay me 1%. I get that. Okay, now let's take a look at this. Now, Matt and Julie, I'm going to sit you down, put your little obese sausage finger babies, in another room, and I'm going to say, you guys need to. Now, the reason why you're paying 1%, is it because that you are needing to net out a certain amount of money, or is it because you just only want to pay 1%? Now, it's going to be that they need a certain amount to net, most likely. So see if they're for sale by owner, see if you can represent their interest and your buyer's interest, so you can make sure the paperwork is seamless, up to date, and everything's an easy workflow. You get that total commission and represent both sides, and see if you can go from there. Because if you can get more for their home, like let's say they are offering it for $500,000, right? But that it's worth $540,000 or $550,000, and they're undercutting themselves. Your buyer can go up to that $540,000, $550,000, and they're willing to pay that amount and make a deal. I mean, there's another option in there, but your buyer has to really buy in on it, no pun intended, and know that they're going to be paying a little bit more than the $500,000 mark. But it's all about what that net is for the seller at the end of the day.
Gotcha.
So.
Interesting. All right. And for those of you who are just joining us, so Tim Stafford wasn't able to make it today, so we are talking about, we're answering some questions from the Lead Gen Scripts and Objections forum and looking for things that are kind of along the lines of what you were dealing with this weekend, Greg, with some commission issues. And we're taking questions about the heat. How's that? We're taking weather-related questions on here on Real Estate Uncensored. This is another really good one that caught my eye. Because this has to do with working with buyers in the $1 million range, which is kind of your bread and butter, Greg. Yeah. So Eagle Rucci, it's a gal, says, it's not the word eagle, it's EGLE.
Oh, okay.
So it's not spelled like eagle, but so I may be mispronouncing that, and if I butcher that, I'm really sorry. I've never seen that first name before. I'm usually pretty good at figuring out by ethnicity, like how certain things are pronounced, but that one is beyond my ability.
That means me being dyslexic, I would be totally up the creek without a paddle.
Yes, I believe you would have called her like Elge or Algae or something like that.
Algae, thank you. Algae, thank you so much for your question.
Algae? Yeah. Okay. So this is so the question is, I have a lead from Trulia for a home that's over $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to see the property and get more info. I emailed her and answered the questions, and then asked her if she was working with an agent and that we required proof of funds or a pre-qualification for this property in order to show it. I don't get the impression she's the listing agent. She's just one of the leads that Trulia had showed this particular person, and that person reached out based on her kind of popping up. So because the lead's response was, "Are you the seller's agent? Because I don't understand why I need you to make arrangements for me. Isn't there direct contact information for this property? I don't want to have an agent representing me." So there's a lot there, but first of all, let's just look at the issue of when you're working with buyers that are over $1 million, before you take somebody on, Greg, how do you handle that question of, are you really qualified to be looking at this property?
Oh, that's an easy one, Matt. I'm glad you asked. This works in any price point, guys, because I mean, yes, we do sell a lot of multi-million-dollar homes here. We're an anomaly, okay? So don't compare me to you. This should be the $100,000 or $50,000 buyer to the $20 billion buyer. Doesn't matter. So I'll say, Matt, Julie, your 3 obese sausage finger babies. I would like, before, yeah, no, the sausage fingers.
Wow, it's growing.
I know it's growing. These little fat little guys. I would say, Matt and Julie, hey, I'm super excited to be working with you. I want to be, there's a couple of things I want to go over first. Now, have you folks had an opportunity to speak with a lender, in the past? And you're going to say, what are you going to say?
I would say no.
Okay.
No, we haven't spoken with a lender yet.
Okay, fantastic. That's exactly why I asked. I wanted to make sure that we're on the same page here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to refer you over to my lender. His name is Casey Dorlich. I've worked with him for almost 17 years. He's the best in the business that I know. And the reason why I want you to talk to him before us going out is because the worst thing I can possibly do is if I go out and I show you a property that's just slightly out of that affordability comfort zone that you want to stay within, then that's the worst service I could ever do for you, because now you're going to use that home as your benchmark of what the level of home you want to have. If it's outside of that level of comfort on purchase price or monthly payment, it would be a devastating event for you. So go talk to Case. You'll get him the information he needs. We'll get you pre-approved so you're comfortable on your price point and your purchase price, and then we'll go out and we'll hit the pavement hard and we'll find you guys a beautiful home.
Okay. Now, well, let me ask you, do you ever get the pushback of, well, I don't want to do that until I find the right home?
Then I don't work with them.
Okay, perfect.
They're a waste of my time, and they are going to jerk you around because they know you have they have you by the balls.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of interesting things in regards to my script that I put in there. Never once did I say you can't afford higher than this. I always talk about. I asked them what that price, the price point for that's comfortable for you folks. Because if you're going to demasculate the man in front of his woman by saying you can't afford X, dude, that's just fucked up. So, I work with it as a team, talk about they're comfortable in both price point and monthly payment. What did that look like? Where were you guys thinking? What have you seen? Have that conversation with them. But I say, that the real beauty part of that script is, if I was to show you something that that you really liked and was slightly outside of that comfort zone, it'd be the worst thing I could possibly do for you. And I'm nodding my head the entire time as I'm saying this, psychologically bonding them, going, yes, that's so right. Why am I nodding my head?
That's right. And now you're taking your credit card out and you're paying for dinner.
Yes, this is good. These are the
next time we hang out. All right, well, let's peel the onion back a little bit and dig into the other part of that objection, which is that are you the seller's agent? I don't want to have an agent representing me. So on Trulia or Zillow, where there's being shown several options for the agent, and maybe they just weren't paying attention or whatever the case is, but they contacted you thinking you were the listing agent. You are not the listing agent. They're going into it, for whatever reason, they apparently don't want an agent representing them, which is weird. Mm-hmm. At least if you understand the inside of the real estate business. So break that down a little bit for me. So if somebody contacts you or you get a lead and they think you're the listing agent and you're not for whatever reason, how do you handle that? And then do you want to even try to spin that into why they should work with you as a buyer's agent versus going and dealing with the listing agent directly?
They sound annoying, to be honest with you. They really sound annoying.
Yes, I agree.
And so I would probably actively tell them to fuck off. But but if you were not in that position, what I would probably do is I would say, no, unfortunately, I didn't have the opportunity to list that home. I know it's really is a great property. Help me understand why you don't want to be represented by a buyer's agent. You do know that a buyer's agent is a free service, that you actually don't pay $1 out of your pocket for a buyer's agent. The commission is completely determined prior to even going on the market in the listing agreement that the seller is paying for the proceeds of the sale of their property. So I'm free, and there's already a fiduciary relationship that's already been signed. It's called a listing agreement, which in their states that listing agent is going to get the highest and best price, legally binding them to get the highest and best price. They have nothing bonding them to you, the buyer, to get the lowest and best price. That's what I would do. So if you see value in that, I would love to represent your interests, and I would love to help you get this home for the lowest and best price. What are your thoughts? Do you have any questions for me?
Okay.
I lay out the fiduciary, and if they're still being a douche, go on to douchebag land all by yourself, and I will continue on my merry way to somewhere where you're not.
Now, does it go? What's at the heart of that idea? Is it the mistaken perception that if they don't bring an agent with them to the table, that somehow they can then negotiate a lower sale price?
Yeah, they always think that they can get a better deal if they work directly with the listing agent. But then there again, we go back to the fiduciary relationship issue, where that listing agent literally by law has to negotiate for the seller to get the highest and best price. So what in the blank? How do you think that's going to play out for you? Unless you're a complete moron, it's not going to work out.
It's like going into a lawsuit and not bringing your lawyer, hoping you get a better settlement because you're dealing with just one lawyer. Yeah,
just one lawyer, and the opposing side has got a corporate wall of attorneys, 20 deep. It's no, you're FUBAR'd. Right. You are FUBAR'd. It's like in a surgery, it's a heart surgeon. Do you want the intern who is helping hand the scalpel to the guy, or do you want the guy who's got the experience to back it up, to get the deal done the right way? For your best interest. They don't leave, tools inside your body cavity.
Okay. Well, before we take more questions, because now we're going to start pulling some more unrelated questions and just go into some general working with seller clients and different things like that. So, unfortunately, if you're joining us, Tim Stafford wasn't able to be on the show today. We're going to talk about social media. We're actually going to talk for a little bit before we get back into the questions about Facebook Live. But before we do that, let me just give a couple of shout outs real quick, and then Greg can shout out some people. Then we'll dive into the massive change that is about to come down the pipe for Facebook Live that we're both very, very excited about, which will literally transform how this show is delivered. Okay, so we'll get to that in a second. Okay, so for now, I just want to say quick thank you to Viral Marketing. It's funny, the podcast we just recorded was with the CEO of Viral Marketing, Frank Klesitz. That's going to be an amazing interview. You guys will get to benefit from in about 4 weeks when we release that. If you are not already signed up for the podcast, go to pursuingresults.com, sign up to get the first few episodes. I think this is going to be one of the first ones we send out. So anyway, but go to Greg's Marketing Examples and check out what they do for Greg there. He has a video where he kind of breaks it down, but essentially they help him run his East Bay real estate video blog and send out emails and then tell him exactly who to follow up with so he gets more repeat and referral business from his database. Go check that out. Now, the other part, go check out Homing In. Go to the App Store for your device or go to homingin.co, and you can download that version. So essentially, homeowners are downloading it right now for free to request actual home valuations from actual real estate agents like you. Right now, it's free for you to download, and you can see that there probably is essentially free seller leads in your area. Then there may not even be agents in your area that are responding to these seller leads. So go download the app, check it out. Pop in your local information and see if there's homeowners in your area that are already requesting valuations from agents like you, and jump on it and send them a valuation and hopefully take some listings from that. Now, back to Greg. What have you got for shout-outs?
Christ, man, you sped up at the end of that thing.
Ooh, yeah.
You're off and running. All right, so actually I got a pretty short list today, surprise, surprise. Gordon Lane hit me up on LinkedIn. Loves the show, has been watching for a while. I've been helping him, get more business. So Gordon, dude, super glad that you're listening and watching. Glad that we're helpful for you. Shannon out of Texas, she called me on Friday and totally out of the blue. And she's like, all right, this is my problem. Yo, we'll solve it. And I'm like, oh, damn. Okay, shit. And she just threw a problem at me. And I sat there and she put a couple different pitfalls that I wasn't able to use. I would typically answer. Took me about 4 to 5 minutes. Was able to answer it for her, and she went on her merry way, and she's going to put it into action. So Shannon, keep up with me. Thank you for connecting to LinkedIn. I want to know how it goes. Katie McDaniel, yes, that is her real last name. I love. First time she hit me up, I'm like, hey Katie, thanks for hitting me up. And by the way, you get the best last name on earth. And so I have her in the McDaniel Challenge this tonight. And then Mr. Brian Casella, happy birthday, my friend. It was his birthday last week. So if you ever watch this, buddy, happy birthday to you. Glad that you were able to glad to be connecting with on the mastermind with Tom Miller and a bunch of other really cool dudes. Daniel Brewer right now is either watching us live or watched us live, Matt. And he's bummed out that Tim can't make it. He wants to talk more about the Crowdfire app and Twitter and all kinds of other stuff. So, dude, Dan, we will do everything we can to get him back on ASAP. And that is my shout out for this show. So short, sweet, to the point, bing, bang, boom, done.
All right. I like it. All right, so let's get back into the questions. There was another good one that caught my eye. Let me find it again.
Want to talk
And
about Facebook real quick?
yeah, I'm
Facebook Live?
sorry, I completely blanked on that. Yes, the massive change with Facebook Live.
Yeah, guys, Facebook Live is going to be rolling out here probably through the summertime. And so the Facebook Lives that you guys get to see, my ugly mug and Matt's ugly mug. When you guys are following us, we talk about stuff out every single day. Like today, I'm going to go live in the lead gen phase. No, actually, today's not my day for that. I'm going to go live to my folks. But the one problem that people have been having with Facebook Live, like innovators, people who have followings, people that want to do trainings on them, they've had to wait for a little while to build up the audience, which I don't see a problem with. But this is what they're going to be doing. They're really cool, two really cool changes. And like I said, they're going to start with like influencers and innovators first, and then they're going to roll it out to everybody else, probably August-ish. Is when it's going to be kind of coming down the pipe, August, September. That's what they're saying. But what they're going to do is they're going to be able to do like one-on-one. So if I'm doing a Facebook Live, Matt could pop in on my Facebook Live. He and I have a two-way dialogue, and then Matt could pop out. Another person could pop in. Essentially, it would be a live interview situation and scenario where you're going to make these Facebook Lives a lot more interesting. Now, if you go to facebook.com/live map, you're going to see kind of like what Periscope has. You can see a map of where people are going live. Be careful what you watch, guys, because there's some shit will never unsee after dark. And you'll see a lot of people doing some stupid shit out there. And that's why this next part is really cool. Instead of having to stay on for a super long time to get people coming on to watch you and find you, you can put them in a waiting room, quote unquote, where if you mark it and say, okay, I'm going to go live today at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You put it out this morning, people see the post, they can go into the waiting room at like 4:25 or whatever, and you can see how many people are going to be in the waiting room. And then you can start, as soon as you go live, bam, you're going to be able to have a live audience ready to roll with the content, material that you talked about and you built it up for. So it's really cool. Also, you can come on with masks, like on Snapchat, you can put those funny filters on your face. They're going to make it so that you can go do that on Facebook Lives. If you go to MSQRD, again, MSQRD, it's an app. And you can get those filters and faces and masks there. So it's some really, really cool stuff. And I cannot wait to see how it's going to interact and change real estate, marketing, sales overall. It's going to be a phenomenally cool tool that Matt and I are going to just have a blast with.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my God.
It's going to be awesome.
Yes,
all right, so real quick, before we move on back to the regular questions, there was a question about Facebook Live that caught my eye, and Greg, you already answered part of this directly, but there was a part that you skipped, and I want to make sure we cover this because somebody kind of questioned the fact that you do long Facebook Lives, and extrapolated from that you are a loser, and maybe you don't produce that well because, after all, the top producers that she knows only post short Facebook videos.
Well, fuck her. That's my first response. Second part of this is that in Facebook's, kind of their whole guidelines on how to do, live videos is that the point is to do live videos to get the interaction. So if she's ignorant enough to think that Facebook Lives are, meant to be short, then she needs to go back and read exactly what Facebook has, written down on the best practices for Facebook Lives. Now, if she thinks that because people do long Facebook posts that they're not producing, well, she's obviously not a top producer and hasn't systematized anything, because the reason why I can do those and everyone else that can do those is because they have a team working behind the scenes to do the things that she probably has to do herself. So again, fuck you. And I'm done. She pissed me off.
Oh, I know. I was pissed off on your behalf, and I was really tempted to put something snarky until I realized that you already
mentioned me.
Yeah.
Oh, bitches.
Well, I don't know Greg, and I don't know his production.
Oh,
but I know that the top producers here only do 1-minute videos.
Everybody who listens to this,
rate.
Go hunt her down and give her a piece of my mind from you.
Oh, I love it.
Now I'm legitimately pissed now. I'm going to go find this comment. I'm going to go tear her a new cornhole. I'm going to post Facebook. Here is the best practices.
Okay. So what do you say we finish off with a few more questions here? So Ed Mukwit says, need some advice. I got a listing appointment for Monday morning.
Sorry, Daniel Brewer just posted on our YouTube. He's like, "Boom, stupid bee." Too much love, Blair.
That's right. Thank you. Okay. So Ed says, got a listing appointment for Monday morning. House is in pretty good shape, but it's 506 days on the market. It's clearly way overpriced. Should I take the listing? And say the seller agrees to a price reduction that brings it down to market value. Is it even possible to sell the home now that it's been on the market for so long? Greg, what do you think?
So run the scenario one more time for me. So
he's got a listing appointment. The house is in good shape. It's way overpriced. It's been on the market for, that would be about a year and a half.
Yeah.
500 days. So it's been on the market. What we don't know is whether, I'm assuming it's expired, it canceled, withdrawn. It's not on the market right this second. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, unless he's doing like a listing appointment behind the listing agent's back, I don't necessarily, maybe that's the case, but let's assume it's not.
Let's hope he's ethical. Okay.
Right.
Well, we know that's
just play with that scenario as if we know that the person is ethical and it is currently withdrawn from the market. How's that?
Okay. A lot of assumptions there.
Yes, I know. That's a whole scaffolding of assumptions that I've built that may come crashing down like a house of cards. It's
like playing Jenga and you got that one piece at the bottom. You're like, oh, we're kind of shaky.
Yes, that's the ethical piece. Yes, that's the.
So what I would do is this, because you bring your time and knowledge to this industry, all right? Now, if it's been on for that amount of time, that's a lot of effort that you're going to expend out and with probably not a return. So you need to go in there and realistically give a price and figure out why this home is not selling. If it's in good condition, but if it's grossly overpriced, do you want to be holding that albatross around your neck of a listing that's just not going, where it's just dead weight? The sellers are getting pissed at you because it's not selling. The market's looking at you going, why aren't you selling this? What are you not doing right? You know what? The buyers are looking at it going, oh, this is a deal. And they keep undercutting you on your purchase, on your listing price. The best thing to do in this scenario, in my personal opinion, would be to go give the real numbers. If they like them, great. If they don't, great. Walk away, go find another listing like Aaron Wittenstein did. His first listing, the appointment that he went on in White Plains, New York, when he just had moved there, he turned it down. Guys, there's always another listing coming down the pipe. There's always another buyer coming down the pipe. If you're working and you're prospecting and doing other things that we preach on the show, but don't get caught up in the fact like, oh, I can change them. No, dude. They're not the exception, they're the rule. Okay, they haven't sold for a reason, which means they have to sell it for this price for either financial reasons or egotistical reasons. Neither of which I want to deal with. So my personal opinion, if they like it, great. Then we'll do the adjustment based on the comps and we'll move forward. If not, drop it like a hot rock and keep rolling.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that comes down a lot of times to abundance versus scarcity mentality and what your lead flow is. Mm-hmm. If you have enough leads, you can say no. Then you have all the power going into that engagement. If you go into it from the weaker position of not having enough business, then you're automatically at a disadvantage, and you're looking for ways to convince them to lower their price in the hopes that you can take the listing and sell it when it's not even the right mental approach going into that situation. It puts you at a disadvantage right away.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. That's why we talk about your presence, how you control your space when you go into a listing presentation, get in the right state mentally when you go through that door, because you're walking into enemy territory, essentially, people that this is their home turf, literally their home. And so you need to have a strong, confident mindset, attitude, presence about you. And if you go in there like, well, gee golly willikers, I think we can get it sold for you, sir. And yeah, I'll just get punched in the face by you and all the other buyers out there because I really need your business. Fuck no. God, I hate myself for even doing that.
Made me feel dirty all over just listening.
I do. I need a shower. God. You're all in San Diego and I need a shower for having this conversation. Good morning.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Now, so Nancy Bergman asks, what do you say when a potential seller decides to list with Redfin rather than you after giving them every suggested tool and script you can think of in the presentation? Why would that be? Have you run up against this in your area with people listing with Redfin?
Of course, they want the 15% back. I mean, okay. they want the cash back. So maybe you have to give a little something on that side. I mean, what is it? Is it really that you want to work with an agent that doesn't know what they're doing? No offense to Redfin agents, just the ones I've met. Some of them are not the most seasoned as others. Okay. And you know what? If they're going to work with someone else, they're going to work with someone else, guys. Look, you can throw every single thing you want at them, but hey, if it's like, yeah, you want some, some money back, great. Why don't I help pay for, closing costs, or why don't I do this out of my commission? It depends on how much you want the business. Personally, again, I say this about a bajillion times, and I know Matt's probably tuning me out because, he does that because I preach about the same things so many times. And the fact is, like, look, you have to build the value train up front. If you have not shown them enough value up front to make them feel that you're worth your commission, that's on you, homeboy or homegirl or homeit or whatever. It's you got to show them, look, all this value, bam, it's at your fingertips. I mean, one of my simplest sayings is, I'm not going to jump into that. I don't have a pamphlet or anything near me. Damn it. Is that I show them my team. I say, I break out my book and I'm like, this is my team. You have a team of 7 for the price of 1. And just saying that, people are like, damn, that is some good value right there. I talk about my team manager. If you're a solo agent, guess what? You got a team. You got your lender, you got your title, you got your receptionist at the front desk. You got a team that you can talk about. Showcase them. Okay? Bring that value. Make sure that you seem a little bit larger than life. I have a friend of mine that is very successful in real estate. And we were talking about listing presentations the other day. Someone reached out to her and wanted to see the listing presentation she did. And so we were talking about it yesterday, and on my way to a CMA. And she really, I mean, she just nails these amazing points down. And I was driving in the car, and this was just a conversation. I felt comfortable. Like, I'm like, dude, I feel really comfortable, like, just listening to you talk about this stuff. Like, I would list with you because of how comfortable I felt in that presentation. So yeah, I went off on a tangent. Hopefully that answered the question.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I know there's a lot. Yeah, we've talked about a lot of different things. So, okay.
Yay.
This is an interesting question. So Kevin McCarthy asked, what do you think are the top 3 reasons that agents fail in the real estate business?
Because they're lazy, cheap, and paranoid. That's why. Okay. They're lazy because they don't get off their fat ass and actually go do some hard work. Yeah, hard work. I know those are 2 4-letter words put together back to back, and it probably made a lot of people break out in cold sweats. But you got to do hard, grinding work. That's it. Number 2, so lazy, cheap. You don't spend money on shit. And you just want the easy button to appear. You want, rainbows and unicorns and fluffy little bunny rabbits to just appear and make life wonderful and grand. It's not going to happen. You cannot be paranoid of everything. You've got to go out and try. Do some research, for God's sake. Go read reviews. Go understand how you want your business to look. Do you want to work with buyers or sellers? Do you want to work a lot or a little? I mean, and then go build the plans into your life that, the systems into your business that can accomplish that. All right. So lazy, paranoid, and cheap. There it is. Don't be afraid of everything. Just go get recommendations and move forward. And if it's just door knocking or cold calling or networking or whatever it is, don't be afraid of it. Go try it. But if it doesn't work in like 30 days, it doesn't mean it's a broken system. It means some of these systems and things that you do to get business take a long time to build up. So you need now business and future business. Talk to a top producer, or get a hold of me or Matt or anything else and ask us about different ways to get now business and long-term business. We'd be happy to share anything you want.
Yeah, I think that's a very interesting point. We were talking on the podcast recording earlier with Frank, and I can't wait for you guys to hear that interview, because it gives you a sense of the mental effort that goes into really building a system that brings you leads, and that is not something that just happens overnight. It's not something that you can do right away. And there was I was reminded of this because I was talking to somebody that they are a coach. They sell coaching services. They know how to hustle. They know how to teach real estate agents to hustle, but they're forgetting that step is still necessary even in their own business of selling coaching services, right? So they're selling a professional service just like a real estate agent is, and they're forgetting that the stages are the same. So you start out as a new agent, right, and you have to go through this period where, I just, for lack of a better term, I just call it the hustle. You're you're out there, you're working referrals, you're working your database, you're cold calling people, door knocking, prospecting, whatever hustle like kind of looks and means to you, depending on your personality. But it's essentially the stage where you throw a bunch of mud against the wall and you see what sticks, right? There's a lot of people out there that are they're still well within that stage, and they have no money or time really to devote to building a lead generation system, but they want all the benefits of a lead generation system. They want people calling them up and saying, hey, come list my home, hey, come show me a home to buy that's in your perfect price range and I'm ready to buy in the next 3 months. But they're not willing to, they don't recognize that they're still in the hustle stage, and if you want to get to the stage where leads start to show up like that, there's a whole cycle of building a system behind that other people have gone through that effort, and you have not. So they try to short-circuit that by paying someone like a Zillow, a Trulia, a Realtor.com, or they go out and get Boomtown, and they dabble in this kind of stuff because it's all in this effort to short-circuit and jump phases too early. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but there is no easy path. I mean, if you're going to really make it, like Frank has made viral, and we are making the podcast, and our team has done real estate in the area, it doesn't happen overnight. There's a lot of sweat, a lot of behind the scenes efforts, and so you're not going to be able to short circuit. You're not, unless you're a smoking hot chick and all the guys want to work with you. Then that's an unfair advantage. Damn it.
Okay. I'm glad you brought that up, because I'm sure that applies to a wide swath of our audience.
Of course that is. We have beautiful.
Exactly. I mean, exactly. You just told them exactly what they need to know.
You're smoking hot. Just go to an investor meeting where it's all dudes. Yeah, got your clientele set for life. Some chick out there right now in podcast land is like, oh, perfect. All right, what's your next question for me? What you got, Matt? What you got?
I'm looking. There's a lot of requests for role play partners, and so I'm curious. Have you ever used a role play or worked with role play partners?
Yeah, it's called my father.
Okay. In the official capacity, or just like you kind of absorbing his phraseology, but you've never worked with a role play partner like in a structured way?
No, not really. I mean, I did a little bit, but not too much. I just sat pretty much right in this chair, and I was able to listen to Terry and Chris just talk in my beginning years, and just hear their language. I would be around them. I would just see the interactions. I picked up, what they were doing and how they were doing it live fire. But, guys, my ISA, Chuck, he does role playing. Like, go find him.
Chuck Mazzanti, Mazzanti. You can find him in the lead gen description objections forum, and then he has his own group, but I can't remember the name of it offhand.
Yeah, hold on. It's has to do with, gosh damn it.
I think it might actually be like role playing. Role estate partners, or something like that. So it is. Just look up Chuck Mazzanti and friend request him, and you'll see it.
Role play. Let's see here.
Yeah, make sure you type in his name. Just don't just type in role play. We make no guarantees on what you might find.
Oh, that's dangerous. He's an awesome dude too. He's an awesome dude. You guys will love it. But yeah, he's looking to grow it out more and more and more.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Actually, I got a question here. Eric is listening to us right now, Matt. And it says, how are you rethinking about cold calling through the potential fines from mobile phone numbers on the DNC lists? Great question, Eric. I am treading very lightly. Let's put it that way. We have gone and talked to Mojo. Yes, there are some cell phone numbers on there. I've been doing it for several years. I go out there with the attitude of forgiveness. So if Matt calls me up all times, I'm pissed off that I called him, I'll say, I am so sorry. I had no intention to bother you, especially on your private line. What I'm going to do is I'll put you on my own personal do not call list right now, so you'll never hear my voice again. And then they and I say, would that be okay? And they generally, everybody's like, yeah, okay, yeah, that's fine. But the majority of the time, it is going to be home lines. But yeah, there are some of the cells out there. If you are really freaked out about it, which you legitimately should, if you were abusing the system in any way, shape, or form, then yeah, I would go back to the old one finger dialing method and just go after it on that. Matt,
and if you go back and watch the episode with Chris Tam from Firepoint, like that's why they have that one-click thing, because that if you use a one-click dialer, it is not an automated dialer. That's the line that you can't cross. So you can still leverage technology. there's a guy actually that does like double hand dialing.
Two
I think
mojos at one time.
Oh, no, I was not talking about that guy. I'm talking about hand dialing. There's a guy named Kevin Mills who I set up on a podcast for Joshua Smith's podcast. So I was talking to him the other day, and he researches all his own expireds and FSBOs. Takes him about 25 minutes, and then he hand dials, and like he just has 2 phones running at the same time. Literally hand dialing. Yeah, it's crazy. Like prospects about 5 hours a day, and then for a couple hours on Saturday and Sunday. The guy's a monster.
Wow. He's
on track to do 80 deals a year. It's only his 2nd year in real estate.
Woo!
Yeah.
That's a perfect example. That goes back to hustle, hard work, not shortcutting anything, not getting the easy button dropped into your lap, just straight up grinding it out.
Yeah.
So, kudos to him.
All right, so let's. This is a question that caught my eye because it's in my wheelhouse of marketing, but I'm also curious because it involves direct mail. You can talk from your perspective, Greg. So Laura Street asks, have any of you done direct mail campaigns to FSBOs or expireds and had an owner email you asking you to stop sending them direct mail because they don't need or didn't ask for your services?
Well, we have 14 or 17 expireds since January here, so we just don't have any. But yeah, wouldn't you expect them to do something along those lines? And then you can say, oh my God, please excuse my proactive marketing approaches. I was just trying to show you, what I can do for you if when we decide to work together. When would you like to sit down so I can lay out the rest of what I can do if you're interested in making on average about 14% more than if you were to sell it on your own?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it. I also like Aaron Wittenstein's the aggressive. The biggest complaint that I hear from people whose homes haven't sold 1, 2, or 3 times is that their agent wasn't aggressive enough.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
I like that script for that. But let's talk about the bigger point, which is value, right? So when you're when you're sending something to somebody, when it's a marketing piece, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of mistakes here, but one of them is looking at it as an event and not a process, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're trying to court an expired or a FSBO listing to sign with you, you're talking about someone that does not know you, like you, or trust you already. There's a process for them to go through that to even break down those barriers, right? To where they'll be open to having an agent at all, and then having you as their agent and meeting with you specifically, right? So if you're going to send something out to them, it is not a one-time, I'm going to send this out and I'll respond to who I respond to, because most likely you're going to get virtually no response back, right? Now, if you're smart enough to come up with a campaign, there's another mistake to be made, which is to make the campaign about you and your service and what you can do for them, right? Now, the average FSBO, they've probably heard some statistics, or at least they're dead set enough against realtors that they don't care what the stats are, and you coming back and telling them, well, you can sell for 14% more, that's, to a certain extent, that's like water off a duck's back. They have to believe it, and they have to agree with that statement for it to make any impact. You telling them that does not make them agree with the statement. So there's some phrasing issues there, but going back to the part about value, right? So when you look at marketing and this process of like courting a FSBO or an expired to take an appointment with you, and you want to get something into their hands that makes them more likely to do that, you want to go value, then ask. Right? It's the whole Gary Vaynerchuk jab, right hook. Everything is not a right hook. If you send them nothing but right hooks, you're going to get shut off, unsubscribed, or they're going to throw your direct mail in the trash as soon as they get it. So once they figure out, oh, this is a thing that offers me no value, they're going to either unsubscribe or they're going to toss it in the trash, depending on whether it's email or direct mail. So you want to be leading with value. One of the great things that you can send, if you're going to send something to FSBOs and expireds, are stories of successful people, clients, that you or your team has helped sell their home in the past, and the story of how you did that and what were the results that they had. And you want to send them stuff that hopefully identifies, and they can look at that and go, wow, that's me.
Yeah, that can be me. That's actually what I came up with Shannon out of Texas, because she was in a short sale area, and that's what she focuses on when people go into default. She's like, well, they won't pick up the phones, they don't answer emails, they don't respond to anything, in mail, and they don't get back to me. I'm like, then you need to go to their house, knock on their front door. If they don't answer, you need to drop off, hey, look at this home that sold over here. It was going to be a short sale, but because of, like we just said, because of my team or my efforts or my services, we're able to get them out of a short sale position. They were able to do a traditional sale. Now they netted zero at the end of the day, but they didn't get a short sale. Would you like to learn more?
Yeah.
And so she's like, oh, okay. So what you do is you take a negative and you make it into a positive. I say, absolutely. Because that's a win. I mean, they're just worried about getting a short sale. I mean, then they're embarrassed. Then they're all their, they get their credit dinged and, all this other shit. And I can
and
attest
then
to
what's
that
the
as
call?
a person that went through a short sale. I did a short sale on a foreclosure personally. So I understand the embarrassment, and it's fucking sucks, dude. Because you really have to admit to the public, the world, that you basically are a loser at that point on your finances because you did something wrong. I mean, that's how it is. But if you can solve that, if you can eliminate that pain, amazing returns. Amazing returns.
Yeah, and then as far as like the call to action on the back end of a piece like that, make it less threatening for them. So rather than driving to a phone call right away, there's a couple of other options, which would be offer them more value, which would be 5-step guide to getting your home sold without an agent. For example, if you're going after FSBOs, like give them the information that they want to accomplish their goals, or show them how to how to net more money, how to deal with buyers. Here's a script, here's an easy script for dealing with buyers, or a checklist for how to get your home ready for a great showing with least amount of time and effort. Offer them more pieces of value, give them a way for them to get that value and you to track that they responded. So set up a landing page, give them a way to download something where they have to put their email in exchange, or give them like a 1-800 number toll-free line where they can call and they know they're not speaking to a person, they're calling for information. There's no response. It doesn't go to your phone, it doesn't ring you, whatever. It's a recorded line where they can call and get information or request something from you without actually having to talk to you. I think one of the mistakes that agents make is thinking that people want to talk to them, which they don't. They don't want to talk to you. They want to bring you in at the absolute last possible second of the process. They do not want to talk to you before they're ready. They do not want to talk to you upstream. They want to do all their homework. They want to research it. They want to research the problem. They want to come up with every possible alternate solution before they ever actually talk to a human being on the phone. I mean, that's the society that we live in now. So putting out a mailing piece to an expired or a FSBO, and the only call to action, the only way for them to take a step towards you is to call your cell phone number, you'll get 1/10 of the responses that you could get.
Very, very small response. Also, you go, like you said, bring value. My mind is moving up here pretty quickly on how you can put together a packet. Maybe that's something I'll work on, Matt. Put together like a conceptual packet of what you could be bringing. Either all free tools that you can just drop a packet off, kind of highlight your team if you have one, what the market conditions are. These are some FAQs when you're selling your home. Or
how about the Home Snap or the Neighborhood Scout report on the positive points of their neighborhood, to give them something that they can actually just give to buyers, give them something that just makes their job as selling their home easier.
No, that's a really good idea, Matt. For once, you've come through on a pinch.
Great. For once. And on that, I feel like we should end the show right there.
Perfect ending. Put a little bow on this bad boy and send it on home.
Exactly. Okay.
Hold on.
Big changes to Facebook Live. We talked about that.
Here's a quick question. Eric, who is watching us live again, he asked, why Mojo versus Vulcan 7 versus Firepoint? So, Firepoint.
That's a big question.
It's a really big question. I guess the real thing is that Firepoint is compliant, so you won't get dinged in the future for doing the multiple line dialers, which is a path I am personally going to be going down. And probably stepping away from some of the things that I have been doing, because if you guys just go back and watch that interview with Chris, you'll understand why within the first 15 minutes of that podcast, you should have peed yourself. If you're doing, different types of dialers or anything else. I know I personally did a little dribble there. That was a scary interview.
Right.
But I mean, that's why I'm looking into Firepoint. I think I'm gonna have Chris maybe come down and really put it into place. Then I can talk to you guys about how the success is from it, because I know personally I want to be compliant. I want to be following the letter of the law. Because I do not want to get slapped a couple years down the road for something that I'm still doing now. I mean, I gave up one system that I was using. It was such a hard system to give up, and no, I will not tell you which one it is. Because I may or may not have been complying prior to that in knowing more about that law. And so now that I know, I can't in good faith move forward and use it anymore. But it's made me so much money though.
I know.
I know.
I feel for you, man.
No, you don't.
No, I really do. I really
okay,
do.
good.
Yes, I do.
You know the system I'm talking about, and it was great system.
Yeah.
Damn it, stupid federal government always jacking my shit.
I know. And the other element of that is the FirePoint is an all-in-one CRM and lead generation. Like it's soup to nuts, everything you could need for real estate. Vulcan 7 is not, although Aaron Wittenstein has really good success with Vulcan 7. So it,
But you seize the market on top of Vulcan or anything else, then it's all in one, all inclusive.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So it's more like a more accurate comparison to seize the market and FirePoint, not FirePoint and Vulcan 7. So.
Right. And if you have any more questions on that, Eric, feel free reach out to me, reach out to Aaron Wittenstein. You can find him on lead gen scripts and objections page, and you can answer that question.
If anybody is listening and you have not already joined that, just go to facebook.com/groups/gotobjections, because a couple times a week, Aaron is broadcasting his live prospecting sessions to expireds and FSBOs, and then Greg, you're broadcasting your live prospecting sessions, which a lot of times are circle prospecting. So there's a ton of variety, and then other people are catching on and also broadcasting their sessions into the group. It's a phenomenal group to be a part of, and we don't have anything to do with it being started or continuing. It's just a great group that I've always liked Aaron on a personal level, which is why we're building out some stuff with him, and there's some really exciting stuff that'll be coming down the pipe. But all that happened just because Aaron does a phenomenal job of running that group, and as a result, the group has grown because it's just a great group to be a part of. Yeah, it really is a cool one. Another question from Daniel. So even though Mojo is now DNC compliant, we can still be screwed if we call a sell. Yeah, if you piss someone off and they go tell, whoever they need to tell that and they can prove that it came from a multi-line automated dialer, yeah, it can be a really, really bad day for you. And I'm really emphasizing the word really. Day. And like Chris pointed out, there are websites out there that actually teach people how to screw you essentially, how, like, what they need to say or what they need to ask, and then how they can go about filing a lawsuit and basically bend over and take it up the tailpipe. Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. What'd you say? And Eric, hey buddy, you're welcome. I'm glad that Matt and I were able to answer your question for you. Yeah, that's right, guys. And if you guys want to interact during the show before, at least in this intervening time period where we're still on Google Hangouts before the big Facebook, like before we're on Facebook Live, which would be pretty awesome. While we're on Google Hangouts, just friend request us, Greg McDaniel in Danville, California, and then you can find me really easily. Everything is Pursuing Results. So Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. Just look up Pursuing Results, and you can follow us and friend us. The best way to interact with us during the show is Facebook Message, because we both have Facebook open during the show. Absolutely. You guys can't friend request me. I'm already at 5,000. So just follow me. Then you can still send me messages, and on Facebook I can get back to you video, audio, or text. Most likely it's gonna be video and audio, but I can get back to you very, 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 very quickly on that stuff. So I like how we're getting questions today, Matt. You know that? I really like that. Yeah, I know. It's awesome getting live questions. Yeah, very fun. I may have another one. Yeah, thanks, by the way. Apparently not. That was a Daniel's like, motherfucker. Like, I didn't know I could do that. Yeah, man. Same way, dude. Trust me on this one. Trust me. All right. So anyway, so remember, guys, subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on iTunes and Stitcher if you want the audio versions. And then, Greg, what's the just quickly a quick refresh on the McDaniel Challenge? Sure. First off, we are at 2,898 subscribers. You guys are unreal, guys. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. So appreciative of that. But McDaniel Challenge, guys, it is a magical hour and a half to 2 hours we're going to spend together. And we will get on and we're going to do a call. We're going to have a cocktail or two, kick back, relax, and hang out, and just I'll get to know you. I'm going to help you with anything that's stopping you or blocking you or hindering you from getting to where you want to be in real estate. I can't speak for the rest of your life, but I can definitely help you in real estate. We do it at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if East Coast, it's 9, Midwest, it's 8 p.m. We do it Monday through Thursday. I have one spot on August 25th open, and then we go to August 30th
is the next one. So 2 more spots in August, and then, or 3 more spots on the 31st. But then we jump into, you guessed it, Matt, it would be September.
Don't be a September person.
Don't be a September
You'd
person.
Be sad. You'd be sad.
Oh,
it's not even July 4th yet. You're talking about booking in September.
Everybody wants to be the August people. I mean, that's the cool kid crew.
That's right. Not quite as cool as the July Kids Club, but
I
close.
know. Yeah. Or June. I mean, the June is just a rock star group.
That's right. They're going to be rocking and rolling by September. When other people are just getting your calls, the other people will be 2 months ahead of you. They'll all be kicking your butt and prospecting.
And if they're in your marketplace, they're taking your money. They're literally reaching into your wallet, taking your money.
That's right. They're taking your family's money. How dare they?
Your kids are not going to get the braces that they need. Not going to go to the private schools that they deserve to go to.
That's right. They won't. Your obese babies won't get the weight loss experts they so richly deserve.
Those lap bands are never going to come around for those little fat little bastards. Right. Little wood denters as they walk around. Boom, boom, boom. Little thunder thighs.
Wood denters. I like that. All right. Let's go ahead.
Wait. You got to get a hold of me, Matt.
You have not given that out yet? No, I feel like you've been talking for hours.
Just because you're biased. Okay. Best number to reach me on, the only one to reach me on is my cell phone, 925-915-1978. Again, 925-915-1978. Text me, call me, Facebook message me, pigeons, whatever you want to get a hold of me with. And remember, hashtag don't let Greg spend the night alone, or he calls Matt and annoys the shit out of him when he's trying to hang out with his really cool girlfriend. And I'm like, hey guys, what's up? I'll be the third wheel.
We didn't get to talk about the fact that I went out with my girlfriend this weekend and had a very spirited game of ping pong in which she kicked my butt.
And that I could definitely see the outcome. She's a feisty one, man. I do like her. I do like her.
And she has some serious ping pong skills.
Mad ping pong skills.
So do not get hustled when we hang out again in person. She's like, oh, what's this paddle device that you hit balls around the table with? What's this thing? You'd be like, yeah, not buying it, sweetheart.
Look, I already talked to Matt about this. This is bullshit. No, I'm not playing it for $20. Fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. With that, we will bid you adieu. We'll put a nice little bow on this one. We have an amazing guest on Wednesday, Shar Kilaris, excuse me. She has an incredible one-agent team model. This is the gal that I mentioned a couple of times where she pulled 40 grand in GCI out of Des Moines, Iowa in 1 month. And the way that she's done, we're going to talk about this more on the show, but she is one agent. She has some support staff, and then the extra leads that she's generating, she passes them off to other agents that she's mentoring and coaching. We're going to talk about how that model works, how she's built it, how she helps the agents, how she's handing the leads off, how she's holding them accountable to follow up with them the right way, and all this stuff in order to actually generate a very, very leveraged income for a one agent kind of team model without bringing them onto her team and building up this whole big millionaire real estate agent team model that's out there. So that's on Wednesday.
That's awesome.
And then we have another phenomenal agent and a fellow viral client, actually, Misty Soldswitch, is going to be on the show on Friday. So we've got 2 big interviews this week. So that's Wednesday at 3 and Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific.
Yeah, you guys, you better tune in, seriously, no joking around. If you're watching this on the replay, you are fast forward to those episodes before you miss out. So
that's right, exactly.
Quit doing dumb shit and start having fun and listening to our voices more. Go ahead and go binge. It's okay. Go binge. Go binge.
Right. Just wait until the new podcast comes out. We're going to give you so much, you're not even going to have time to listen to it all.
So much goodness in such a tiny little place.
That's right. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. And we will see you guys back here on Wednesday.
Yeah, guys. Bye.